Right. Okay. Hello, hello, and happy Friday the 13th. And it's a little bit of a follow-on from the post I did earlier on in the week when we were looking at the energy of last week, where we were in sixth energy, where there's the uncertainty moving into seven energy, where we're on our path, connecting back with the six energy for unconditional love, moving into the eight energy, where we were clearing, generational stuff, and then on to nine, where we're connecting to that deep womb energy to bring in that unconditional love onto our divine path. And then 10 energy was where it was kind of completing. Now, today we're in 13, and it can be a little bit worrying. People get quite very uncertain about 13 because much fear has been gendered around this kind of date, like people say, unlucky for some and all that sort of thing. Now, in actual fact, it has a very positive portent in its deepest origins. And it is definitely not something to be afraid of. In fact, it is a date that brings in the potential to bring a lot of creative energy into Earth and manifest really powerful, beautiful things, bringing in more love and light to the planet. It's the same with any energy. What we connect to and what we want to bring in is what we do. And it's been very easy to sort of get caught up in the idea that 13 is negative. For me personally, I remember there was a defining moment when I was playing darts in a pub on Dartmoor, and I just was standing there and I was going for number 13, and I just said, it's my lucky number, and it always has been and always will be. It's always lucky for me. And I threw the dart and I got it straight in, and I was like, and there's my confirmation. And at that point, I started to experience a shift in certain parts of how I was understanding the world. I knew that that was something that really resonated within me. Now, nothing more activated on that for a long time thereafter. However, I now understand what I was experiencing and sensing in that moment in a much deeper way. So 13 is a powerful way to manifest what we are wishing to create. So for all of us, both females and males, it's a powerful day to connect with our deepest sacred feminine energy, that womb energy that we went into when we were looking to bring in the healing of unconditional love. And it is like when we want to connect and heal ourselves, like that womb energy where we're safe, that is in our 13th chakra. And that is that one that's way beneath the surface of the earth, really cocooned nicely and safely. And it helps us to be like in the shelter of our own little cave where we can sit and be nurtured by the earth energy and sort of lick our wounds. And today, the energies that are around us at this time of year, we're really getting in touch with our most divine feminine aspects. And that, again, is whether you're a man or a woman or however you present, we all have the two halves of those coins within inside our energy system, and they're always looking to see and create a balance between them. And when those are balanced, that's when we feel most at peace. So we're always looking to express the one that needs to be expressed. And that is our healing work. That is a going inward. And, today it's again that feeling of being shown always to sit, to go into an emotion, to really be with it, not think about it or intellectualize it, but experience the sensation of it. This is what we're doing on our Mondays in the meditation with Reiki. Reiki helps us to do that. It helps us to find those values, the values that are within ourselves and the value in ourselves, to connect with the light within us and to propagate it so that we become a light for ourselves, and that we become we foster and harness the ability to value ourselves so deeply and so richly that we become a light for others. And that is really powerfully how we can work with 13 energy to bring about just exactly what we need. So if there's something that you are wanting to manifest, remember that when we're doing that it's always healthy before looking at what you want outwardly, that the best way, this is very much been the sentiment of and the theme of the last few weeks, is that, going into a space of pure calmness, calming our mind so that we can connect with the sensations in our body, to really experience them and allow them to flow through us. We can tap into the light that is within those emotions. So there is, beneath any fear or sensation, because that's the opposite of the light, the darkness is fear, which could manifest as a sense of hatred, anger, irritability, sadness. All those things are coming from a space of fear. So when we shine our own light, our internal light, the part of us that's sitting, nurturing ourselves, when we shine that on the parts of us that are feeling a bit niggly, any sensations in our body that are drawing our attention, we can sit to allow them to be whatever they want to be, and be with them to see what lies beneath, when they pass, what is there. Because often, they're the bits of us that we want to shove over our shoulder and pretend aren't really happening. And we try and invest in other things to take our minds off those things. So we might, go off and go out and do something else to sort of, or talk about something. Or we even get very excitable, like, oh, I'm so excited by this, because, it gives our mind something to focus on. We think, oh, we're doing the positive work there. I'm staying positive. I'm looking forward to something. And of course, those things can be true. But sometimes that's our ego's way of hiding us away from sitting and being with the discomfort. So it's about knowing ourselves always. And the message, it's like the labyrinth, that's an ancient form of prayer that is a powerful way of transcending emotional problems. So, we can go into a labyrinth to connect with a trouble or a worry. And as we move through the labyrinth, we're sort of dropping stones, like the worries of it, as whenever we think of something we need to let go of till we reach the center, where we release our prayer, and then we walk back out again. And by the time we reach the end, we've gone into the problem, released it, and come out again. So that spiral, it's like a magical portal to take us from one space into another. And today's guidance is very much about doing that. It's about allowing ourselves to go into that labyrinth and sit with the emotion, the fear, the worry, whatever it is, whatever powerful emotion you have. It could be one that, I feel so strongly about this, I'm so passionate about it. That still is creating a story in your mind about a specific outcome, which may or may not serve. So it's always good to sit with that emotion and the sensation of it, not the thought of it, until it passes and you reach that state that is lying on the other side of the labyrinth that is peaceful. And the message is that when we reach that state of clarity in our mind where there is peace, that then the path unfolds and the next step lands. So that's our most powerful way to work with 13 energy. So if there is any fear for you around this date, the very first thing to do is to sit with that sensation in your body and be with it, and bring in that love of yours, which is unconditional, the part of you that knows how to love without bounds, the part that would nurture a little bird, the part that would nurture a child, whatever it is that you allow yourself to nurture with love, wherever your passion for nurturing lies. And there is always something that we each have held. we can tap into that aspect of ourselves and then just mirror that back onto ourselves in order to gift ourselves with that love and nurturing in the space of discomfort. So that is where Reiki comes in. When we work with the Holy Fire Reiki, that energy comes in to clear away those emotions, to help us to transcend those emotions with the energies that work through the most divine aspects of ourselves in feminine and in masculine, those two sides of the coin. They come in to help us find those balances. And yeah, anything that is physical seems very, very real because we can see it. But there are so many other energies that work with us that we can't see. And it's really important that we choose the ones that are working for our highest and greatest good. So as we start to unlock this deep, sacred 13 energy and allow it to flow through us in positive ways, we can really start to shift and transform our lives from the inside out. We start to light up those darker aspects within us until more and more of us is a light. And then we begin to connect with and value our light, because the light parts of us begin to teach us how to hold our light in different situations. And sometimes we may question that because of different parts of our darker side that hold us trying to run and escape from that safe place, strangely, just because it feels safe when we act on something that we have always known. So the unhealed parts of our ego may cause us to keep needing to be liked, for example. So the desire to be liked, we can heal that so quickly on many ways, and we often think that's healed, but sometimes that can be coming through in a deeper way that we haven't quite spotted, and it causes us to keep showing up in places where actually and for things, people, situations where actually, it's not our love that's needed there. Our love is actually needed on ourselves, and to trust our own light and our own love. And it's quite a journey. And that's where I found Reiki has really helped me to move through those emotions and connect with that journey in the highest possible way, so that I'm not getting caught up in some of the more egoic options that can present. So it's always about unconditional love. It's always about connecting to our most divine aspect, which knows us intrinsically and works. And it's always about, that number 8 energy of knowing that we are eternal beings and that the soul is us, the body is what the soul is in. And our souls have all the answers that we need to know in this lifetime as to what we need to do, where we need to show up. And that 13 energy helps us to connect with that soul. And then when we work with Reiki or high vibrational beings and the healing essence of the earth, then we can begin to heal and bring more light into our life and know our purpose, know where we're going, because we follow our own internal guidance. And it works really magically between those two feelings, that setting the nice structure of the external and how we're going to show up, but it's based on how we have navigated our internal system. And of course, it's knowing that that light is always there. It's not exhaustive. It's infinite. So we can always tap in for more and more and more of that higher vibrational energy. And in doing so, it helps us to transcend our journey and find that state of inner peace and inner bliss. So culminating all that to say that Friday the 13th is a great day for self-work, for healing things that are heavy, but it's also a great day for connecting with the spaces of light that exist within us, where our absolute joys and passions are within, and just asking for more of that by being in it. So literally doing what you love today, doing something that makes your soul sing, doing a little bit of that creative project, feeling out for things that, that make you joyful, perhaps going for a walk, perhaps it's whatever it may be, writing, sitting for a moment with a cup of tea, going out with friends, whatever it is, it's a powerful day for doing all of those things, because the bit that's attractive is your energy when you're doing those, and that will bring more of the same to you and propagate all those things that you're doing where your energy is in that peaceful, happy space. And that's manifesting, because we don't necessarily, there are many ways to do it, and there are many different ways to do it. But one of the ways not to get caught up in the head is to go with your body where you feel and just be in your happiest space and don't worry about anything else. Today, acknowledging that it is the 13th and go like, yeah, I'll take that and do what you want to do. And then see the magic. Anyway, wishing you a wonderful day and a peaceful day, and bringing in the light of all the highest guides that are working with you and through you to connect you with the space that you need to be in for your best day today. Lots of love, and see you on Monday.